One of the most beautiful birds, and considered a sacred bird all over northern Europe and into Siberia, as well as Scandinavia, is the swan. Within Scandinavia itself, the swan is associated with the god Freyr and with the white cirrus clouds that formed his chariot. Also in Scandinavia, the swan is associated with the Valkyries, who summoned to Valhalla those who died in battle. In ancient Greece, it was connected with the gods in a similar manner as was found in the Nordic countries. For example, Apollo's chariot was drawn by swans when they flew northwards to the land of Ute, and Apollo himself, as well as his twin sister Artemis, were born of a union of Leto with the great god Zeus, who came to her in the form of a swan. In another version of the story, Leda was visited by Jupiter in swan form and laid 2 eggs, and from these sprang the divine twins, or the Gemini twins, of Castor and Pollux. Another common story is the folk tale of the Swan Maiden, who becomes the wife of a human being. It has many variants, but in the most usual form it concerns a flock of swans who land by some lake or river, and there they divest themselves of their plumage and bathe in the water as human women. A man can steal the feathers of one of the swans and therefore gains power over her. She becomes his wife and remains with him, often for many years, until one day she discovers her plumage of white swan feathers, puts them on her, and then flies away forever. Of course, this story has a very close association with the Selkie seal fairy stories of the west coast of Ireland. Swans being protected birds, it is also considered extremely unlucky to kill one, and if done so, will result in the death of the person who killed the swan within the first year. It is also believed that swans stretch their heads and necks back over their folded wings during daytime in the style at which they normally sleep. When they do this, it is a sign that a thunderstorm is brewing. Two lesser known superstitions surrounding the swan. It cannot hatch its eggs unless in a thunderstorm, and that because of its association with the Greek god Apollo, and therefore the god of music himself, that swans sing when they are dying, and hence the term a swan song. One of the most persistent legends about swans is that before they die, they can be heard all over the Mediterranean. Plato had mentioned this, and so did Aristotle, who wrote that when the death approaches, the swans fly out to the sea, and that sailors along the Libyan coast could hear them singing mournfully in their last moments. Shakespeare refers to this lamentation, as did Sir Thomas Browne in his Vulgar Errors, though Browne himself did not believe the legend. Not only were swans renowned for singing, but they could also generate music with their voices. In one Irish story, we are told of a great company of swans wearing silver chains and gold coronets set down in a lake, where they sang so sweetly that all who heard fell into a deep sleep for 3 days and 3 nights. Tradition says that swans only hatch their eggs during thunderstorms, and it is the thunder and lightning itself which breaks their shells. In the Irish mythological tale, The Children of Lear, 3 children are turned into swans by their wicked stepmother, who is also an evil druidess. They are then bound to spend 900 years on the most turbulent and cold and windswept lakes and seaways in and around Ireland. The Children of Lear turn back into human form, age rapidly, and then die. Within Ireland, the tale of the Children of Lear is told as a metaphor for the coming of Christianity and the loss of old Ireland and its pagan magic.